serious problem. Okay, so it's opened. So this is just the cover. Then you will see other stuff. So I'll just read it to know what they have. So they have components, type, okay, app layout. Let me see their UI kit. So this is their kit. Let me zoom in. So this is their typography. I don't know if I did this in our class, but I will check it out. Then this is for navigation, for bottom navigation, depending on what you're working with. So this is so most this is for dashboards for when you're designing for websites. So this is just to show you how it could be, and what you have to do is just maybe if you copy one, you change it to the color you're working with instead of like their own color. It just needs a lot of editing and adopting, and most times you would have to do a lot of back and forth. So these ones they lock theirs because probably they will need you to pay for it. So I'll delete this. I don't want it to be part of my files. So which other design system? What's the name? I've forgotten the name of this design system. I think Spotify has a design system, or IBM. I've forgotten the particular one that has, but so there are tons of. So the best thing is to just um, go online, read up about like a design. Maybe if you are working with like let's say you're working with fintech, so you go online and check for design systems that have a lot of fintech, meaning that those fintech design systems will have a lot of charts, bar, pie, so you wouldn't have to create it from scratch. So um moving on to components, let me just explain what components are. So components is basically to help you reuse things. So for this particular shop by category that I have like up to four of them, I will tell us the reason why we do components. So I would make this a component. So how to make a component here, you can make a component from here. You create a component, or you could right click on your mouse or your trackpad and you would see create component. Once I've created component, I could name it. I could just name it let's say category headings. So all I have to do is just copy this and replace these other ones so that these ones would take the form of the component. I'll tell us why in an instant. So let's say we design this and the person we designed it for doesn't really like this particular arrow. So let's say we have these screens like 20 of them or 50 of them, and we if you did not use components, you would now have to change them one by one. But if you use components and let's say the person you design for say I don't really like this arrow, change it. So all I have to do is go get a new arrow. Let's say this arrow. Okay, so I'll just cut it, Control X, then I'll replace it, paste to replace. It changes everywhere. Everywhere it occurs, it would automatically change. So that's the good thing about it. Let's say I create this button as a component. So create component, I'll just call it let's say category, sorry, um category button. Then let's say the stakeholder say they don't really like this color, they want to maybe use blue. And let's say you have started working with this particular color and you have like you can have multiple screens, you can have like 80 to 100 screens because you'll be accounting for every interaction that's supposed to happen on this page. So imagine just this shop by category already has 4 pages, and we have not even started like designing proper. So if you design proper, a particular flow might have up to 20. So if they say they don't like this color, and let me just copy this button and change it in this whole page. So the thing is, you have to mostly create your components at the beginning, because if you create it at the beginning, you don't have to like start pasting to replace and the rest of it. So the ideal thing to do is create your component as soon as you create, like, let me say when I created this button at first, I would have created a component. Then right now it wouldn't be like me replacing them. Give me a minute. I think I missed something. Okay. So let me change this one. Paste to replace. Okay. Then I'll change this and change this. Paste to replace. So what it does is I change the color of one. It affects in all of them. And it's advisable to create components as you go, because it will help you in case there is need for change. So everything would automatically change no matter what happens. So that's like one thing about components, and the good thing about component. Then it's advisable to make your cards components as well. If I make this card a component, and I say I want this thing to be on top, let the picture be down, I'll not have to start changing them one by one. But if I if I made them components, I just have to change one, the effects in every other thing. So components is actually there to make your life easy if you're working with tons of pages or tons of screens. But if you are just designing like a screen, you don't necessarily have to stress it. But and then the good thing about components is you could find it in assets. So let's say I want to use this particular button. Maybe I'm in a screen down and I'm not seeing like a way to copy. Let me just create a frame. Let's see this. So I just want to use this shop by category I have. I just have to drag it and then centralize it, and yeah, it works. If I want to use this button, all I have to do is I could insert it automatically, or I could just drag and paste. So the good thing about your component is that it would help you make your design life easy, and you could always find it. So that's why it's good to name it, so that you would know if it's homepage. Let me say homepage search screen. Maybe I want a different search screen in another page. I create it differently instead of this homepage own. So it all boils down to your naming system. Your naming system will help you once you want to reuse it. So um that's that for components and for design systems. But for design systems, I feel like it's a lot more um bulky. So for Google, there is material design one, two, three. So it's just for you to study. But I will share a link to a YouTube tutorial on the WhatsApp group that explained everything about material design and how to use everything inside material design. So it's just for you to watch during your leisure time. So I would I would share that. So the good thing about using Google Material Design is it's actually universally acceptable. And if you're working with like an Android app, the Apple has their own design system too. So if you're working with an Android app, you could always use Material Design, because obviously it would work well. So even every single thing is explained in Material Design, shadows, every single thing. They would show you what to use. So if you're a beginner, you can't just use shadows like that. So you have to come to Material Design to learn how to use your shadow well, and the use cases for each shadow. So I think it's Material Design 2 that explained in details. But I will share the YouTube link for us to really understand and everything in between. Okay, this is three, right? Okay, this is two. So this is to also show you the guidelines. I'll share the link to the group chat. So you could read about the guidelines, see the components I'm even talking about. Is to give you guidance on components and how to build with it, icons, how to use it, basically everything you need. So you could just go through it and it will explain as much as you want on everything. It could even give you idea on how to design search screens and the rest of them. So this is just like mini assignment, something you can go back to read. So see app stop, backdrop, banners, bottom navigation, buttons. So you have like components, you could read up on what each of these components does and how like to use them. So in this part, they're explaining buttons. See, button communicate actions that users can take. They're typically placed throughout your UI in places like dialog, forms, cards, toolbars. So these are principles. If you're creating a button, it has to be identifiable, findable, clear. So there are different types of button. We have this one, we have the second one, we have the third one, then we have the fourth one. So I don't think we should start reading them since they're online for you to read. So they also show you how to the do's and don'ts of buttons, like do this, don't do that. So in your free time, just go through material design. You can just type material design on your this thing and it shows. So see something like this, do this, don't do that. So it's just basically showing you the do's and don'ts, and it will even help you see how cards are designed. But this particular card now, this second one is basically for web. You can't do something like this for mobile. Mobile is usually like vertical stacking. So we don't really have much today. And the problem is that we are not practicing, because if you were practicing you would have like I understand Priska and Esther, but as much as possible, if you can find someone you could use their system, all you have to do is you don't necessarily have to download on somebody's system. You can just use the web use the web version and just practice, because once you practice you would have like challenge normally, and then it will like lead you to us maybe practicing some things in the class instead of like going over it verbatim like this. But it's all good though, it's all good. So like I said, we just have like um these four things for this week, and we have reading stuff to do on design systems, and I would send the video like I said. So these two other topic would basically have to do it next week. That's week 6. So I don't know if we have any question, or should we call it a day? Any question?
No, I don't have any question.
No.
Okay, no problem. So when we come next week, we'll go over the rest of what we have for the week. Then maybe we could design something on web as well. All right. I'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week, and happy Easter.
Happy
Enjoy
Easter.
your
Okay.
holiday.
Thank you. Happy Easter.